Akshat, nice to meet you here. Amazing panel, as always. Yeah.
Thanks.
While many investors chase short-term trends, Maelstrom has emphasized investments in infrastructure. What drives this focus, and how do you assess the long-term viability of infrastructure projects in the crypto space?
Yeah, so at Maelstrom, the way we see the crypto infrastructure stack developing is very similar to the way it happened in Web 1, where each layer of the tech stack gradually came about. But what's unique in crypto is that there's a competition for each layer of the tech stack. Then there's a competition for each layer of the application stack. And this happens over the course of years. There's a winner, usually one, maybe two winners in each of those layers, and they're all interoperable. So we want to be a part of the creation of this entire stack, and it's going to take 2 decades. So that's kind of how we look at our investments.
With the introduction of the Genius Act, stablecoins have gained institutional interest. How do regulatory changes like these shape Maelstrom's investment strategies, and what future regulations are you monitoring closely?
Yeah, so we're of the view that regulations, especially in very forward-looking jurisdictions, we saw this in like the likes of the Middle East and Singapore at one point, Hong Kong, but especially America. Regulations follow tech innovation, not the other way around. It's very rare that a regulatory body will come and say, "Hey, we're inviting this kind of innovation," and then founders come and innovate. That never happens. It's always the other way around. Founders will break the threshold and the barriers of what we all think is possible. They'll innovate, and then something will crack, and then regulators are forced to step in and say, we like the good parts of this, but we don't like the bad parts, so now let's regulate this new thing that was just created. So for us, while regulatory changes are definitely moving in our favor and we like what's happening, it doesn't really matter because we're chasing innovation, and the regulations we know will follow over time.
Given your extensive background in finance and crypto, how has your personal investment philosophy evolved? What are principles or lessons you learned that guide your current investment decisions?
Yeah, I mean, my personal investing philosophy, I don't just do crypto personally. I invest in a lot of different things. I've got a beer shop in Hong Kong. I've invested in real estate, and I've done crypto since 2013. And I think there's a commonality, right? You always want to look at the total addressable market. You want to look at how well a company or protocol or a project can compete within that category. You always want to look at the quality of the founder, right? That's kind of everything, especially in crypto, but also in basically every industry. There's a lot of discretion in the hands of the founder to be a bad actor, be a good actor, and you only find out when things have broken much later. So we try to screen as well as we can on founder quality upfront.
And the last question. Looking ahead, what emerging trends or technologies in the crypto space do you believe will have the most significant impact, and how is Maelstrom positioning itself to capitalize on this development?
Yeah, so there's two big trends, right? So you've got like, let's say DeFi world, and then you have the rest of crypto. DeFi world is Wall Streetizing, right? Over time, in the coming years, you're going to see more and more integrations, regulatory wrappers with capital that formerly was locked out of crypto, now being able to access DeFi directly. You'll see this through publicly listed companies. You'll see this through private regulatory wrappers, things like that. That's kind of happening. But in addition to that, you're going to have the rest of crypto, which in my mind is a lot more exciting, specifically with DePIN. You're going to see that start to take the same path that DeFi once took, where there's innovation, it doesn't work in the beginning, it starts to get better, there's some games that are played, eventually something clicks, then the regulators wake up and say, hey, actually this is really helpful for our economy or innovation, et cetera. And it kind of goes from there, right? So we're going to see that same exact thing play out with DePIN, the way that it did with DeFi. That's coming though, and I think it's going to take longer because it's going to touch more of the economy, but it's going to be more impactful. So that's what we're really excited about.